we received the invitation on Wednesday for Chairman Wontumi to appear before the CID. It was impossible for him to show appearance on the day because he wasn't feeling too well, and myself, I was in court in Cape Coast, so it wasn't possible. So I had to call CID headquarters to give them this information that we won't be available for the Wednesday, but if we should defer to another date. So between myself and CID headquarters, we agreed to meet on Monday.
Okay.
So they also agreed. So Monday was the day to come. So I came there Monday morning with Chairman Wontumi also following. But in course of the time, Chairman Wontumi called and said that he was having some challenges health-wise and needed some attention. So
on that Monday?
On the Monday,
right.
On his way to CID. So I informed the CID leadership that he had some small medical challenges and needed attention. So he told me specifically that he was going for a particular treatment. So they obliged, and then he went. So I met with the leadership. We set up the stage, the office too, and the personnel to conduct the interrogation, all of that. So we were waiting, and then by 12 o'clock, Chairman Wontumi had come to the CID headquarters.
Right.
And we informed them, and it was then that Senior Counsel, former Attorney General, had come also, and they started the whole process all over again.
You mean Godfred Dami?
Godfred had come. So I thought that...
Did he come there at your invitation or the invitation of Chairman Wontumi?
No. He didn't come there at my invitation. I don't know if it was Chairman Wontumi who may have invited him or something, but it was okay. He came and they started the whole process again. And at the time I had a call to come back to office because there was a particular client that was to travel the evening and wanted to see me before traveling. So on that note, I said that let Senior Dami continue whilst I go back to office to attend to this client. And if possible and necessary, I'll come back to join him. But in course of time, I had a call that after the meeting had been adjourned to the next morning. So there was no need for me to go back to the headquarters. So next morning came, and myself and...
which was Tuesday.
Which was Tuesday. Chairman Wontumi, we went to CID headquarters. And then we had a meeting with the personnel of the headquarters. There's some interrogation and all that. At the end of it all, there was an agreement for us to come back on Thursday at 1 p.m. to complete the discussions. So we were discharged from there. Just as we stepped out of the confines of the CID, we were confronted by officers of Yoko.
Yoko. But before we get to the point where Yoko came in, I want to understand the interrogation at the CID headquarters. You had completed it.
We had not completed. We had reached a stage where they said we will continue on Thursday.
Okay.
So, So we were discharged on the day, Tuesday. So outside the premises of the CID, we were confronted by the Yoko officials. Said that he was under arrest. And I was sitting in the car of Chairman Wontumi. It was a two-seater vehicle, so there was no way any other person could have joined. So I had to step down, get one of the security officers join him. And then I joined the vehicle of the Yoko officials. So we went to Yoko, and then we spent some time there.
So tell us, At the CID headquarters, when the EOCO officials came in, how was the arrest like? They came to you, they spoke to you gently that they wanted your client?
No, they didn't speak to me. They were rather speaking to my client. And at a point in time, I had to intervene to tell them that, yes, we don't know of any invitation, and we
They had not invited you
no, they
before?
had invited us, not to my knowledge. So if they needed to talk to us, we will submit to the invitation if they had invited us. Then they said that they had come with a warrant that they showed to Chairman Wontumi.
You saw the warrant?
I didn't see the warrant. In fact, I asked for a copy.
Okay.
But they showed, and they told him that this is the warrant. They showed it to him. Even when I demanded a copy, they didn't give me. But when we went to Yoko, I still demanded copies of the warrant. And
have you been given finally?
I have not been given so far.
But I want to clarify something. We've been told that he was arrested in a Rambo style at the CID headquarters. I want you to paint a picture for us how the arrest actually happened at the CID headquarters.
Well, he was arrested.
How many EOCO officials came?
Whatever you call Rambo style, the description is yours. But he was arrested.
Would you call it a Rambo style arrest?
Well, I don't know what is Rambo style, but I know that he was arrested.
All right.
He was accosted, he was arrested, and I prayed that because of where we were, it would be nice that we all comported ourselves and we all drove out quietly, and that he was not going to abscond or anything. And if they wanted, they could come into the car whilst I joined their car for all of us. They agreed to that.
But your client did not resist any arrest at that point?
No, he did not.
Okay. And then you went to the EOCO office?
Yes.
That same Tuesday afternoon?
Yes.
And what happened from there?
Yeah, we had to wait for some time before the interview panel assembled. And they went through this interrogation. They asked a few questions and he provided the answers. It got to a time, we had stayed there beyond 8 o'clock. So
that's Tuesday evening.
Tuesday evening. Naturally, all of us were tired. And indeed, as I told you before, Chairman Wontumi was not feeling too well also at that point. And it was obvious, all of them saw that he wasn't feeling too well. So
it's not something he feigned.
Oh, I have told you that even in the afternoon. And I have also told you that even the week before, the Wednesday, he wasn't feeling too well. That is the more reason we couldn't even come to, on the invitation.
Okay.
That is on the Wednesday.
Right.
So because of his condition of health, we had to defer the meeting to the Monday.
Right.
See, so all the while from last week, he wasn't well.
Okay.
So when all of us realized that he was not well, we all agreed that we should find treatment for him.
That was Tuesday evening. At that point at the
Tuesday evening.
Right.
That was late.
Okay.
So we all agreed and adjourned, and we took him to the hospital.
Which hospital?
Well, I don't have to disclose because
all right.
I don't have that permission to so do.
Okay.
So, but we agreed that he'd be taken to a hospital for treatment, and he was taken to a hospital.
That's Tuesday evening.
Yes. The only reason is that I made some complaint, but the only reason is that we had agreed to a location, a particular hospital, where he ought to have been treated because that is the hospital that had his medical information.
Right.
But when I got to the hospital, he wasn't there. So I looked around a few hospitals, he wasn't there. So I didn't know on that day which hospital they had taken him to. So the next morning, my first point of call was that the Yoko head office to inquire about his whereabouts. So it was then that I was informed of where they had taken him to.
But when you realized you did not find him at the hospital you were expecting to, did you call him?
Oh, no. All our phones were taken. No. Before we entered Yoko office, in fact, myself, my phone had been taken, and Chairman's phone had been taken also.
So you couldn't.
In fact, you don't enter the premises of Yoko with your phones.
Okay.
So they give you a tag and they keep the phone.
Okay. So on Wednesday morning, you got to know the medical facility that he was taken to.
Yes.
Right. And what happened from there?
And from there, from Wednesday morning, he had been at the facility all through. In fact, Thursday, I made contact with him and I saw his condition.
Okay.
And then I saw that he had improved, also, but still on medication.
Okay.
And Friday, this is where everything happened.
When the real action started?
Yes, because
okay. So
all the while, my job was to look for sureties with the justification.
Okay.
So I was struggling to find it.
So on Wednesday, you were out looking for ways?
Yes, I was just looking for.
But at that point, did you know, was he really charged with the 50 million Ghana cedis plus the others?
It was on the first day that after the proceedings, I prayed for a bail for him.
Okay.
And the bail was granted.
So it was that first Tuesday?
First Tuesday, that bail was granted.
Okay.
And condition of the bail was a bond of 50 million Ghana cedis.
Okay.
And 2 sureties to be justified.
Okay.
So all this while...
So on Wednesday, when he was at the hospital, you were out
trying to find the sureties with the necessary justification. That was it.
Okay. Then came Thursday.
Then came Thursday.
What happened on Thursday?
Thursday, I had some promises that people will come with the necessary documents for me to file so that we can execute the bail.
Okay.
But as at the end of Thursday, I had received just one document from a gentleman who wanted to stand surety.
Okay.
And this gentleman gave me the documents. And I studied the document. I realized that it was a document covering 10 acres of land in this town, in the eastern region.
Right.
I've forgotten.
The name of the town doesn't come up.
It doesn't come up again.
Okay.
But I'll get it for you.
Right.
So I saw that was woefully inadequate.
The 10 acres.
10 acres of land without more. No building, no trees.
Just land.
Sumenya.
Okay.
10 acres of Sumenya land. So I thought that this was woefully inadequate. I couldn't even present it. So the good thing about it is that I didn't give it to the person to take back. I still have it.
Okay.
Because I wanted to keep as many as I can get.
Okay.
So that at the end of the day, I'll make a determination of what to use.
Right.
So I still have that document in my office.
All right.
So Thursday gone, I didn't get anything.
But you were still going around?
I was still. Indeed, I am still.
Even now?
Even now, because matters like this, you want to get as many as you can.
Okay.
So that in the event that there is any hiccup, or can fall on the next person.
Did you? Which people did you reach out to, or so far? Because you say you are still looking for people in that regard.
Yeah. In fact, in course of the time, there were people who promised to come. Some of them on their way will return. Others will come and
the 50 million was too much for them.
Others will come and give me reasons why they cannot proceed.
Okay.
You see, I was actually trying to encourage them to so do, but it was difficult. I can only mention one name because most of the people didn't want to be identified and to be advertised. You see, so I can only mention because this person I'm going to mention, I discussed with him today that if it happens that questions are put to me regarding people who have come to submit documents, I will want to mention your name. You don't mind? He said, I don't mind at all. And I will also discuss circumstances why your document couldn't be used. He says he doesn't mind. And this is Honorable Kennedy or in Agyapong.
Oh, he also came forward.
Yes, he came forward. He brought some documents. And these documents, upon verification, I realized that they were either leases or assignments that had not been registered. So they lacked title. So we couldn't use such documents. And I told him. Incidentally, I didn't keep his document because they were of no use to me at the time.
Right.
So I returned those documents to him.
And you explained to him why you couldn't.
To him and advised him that he needs to perfect all his documents.
Okay.
And indeed,
that's a free legal advice.
Yes, free legal advice. But at least I was also encouraging him to tender them to my office for us to perfect his documents.
That's a business opportunity for you.
For a fee.
Right.
And I told him.
Okay. All right. So when did he bring this document? Was it Thursday or Friday?
That was Friday.
Friday?
Yes.
In the morning?
The morning. Mm-hmm. So all the while, I was confident that at least I would get people come. Okay. So, and I'm telling you this because he agreed that I mentioned his name.
Right.
He agreed that I discussed the circumstances. He also agreed that I discussed the advice I gave him.
Okay.
The only addition is the solicitation for the opportunity to work for him.
Okay. All right. So.
But I'm not sure he would deny.
Okay. So Ken himself, is he among those people you've reached out to or you are still reaching out to?
Like I told you, it will not be over until it is over.
Right.
So not until I have finished and secured the bail, I will welcome whoever wants to make a showing. Because if I get more, my chances are better than if I get less. So I'm not going to...
What I want to establish is whether you reached out to Ken or he reached out to you on this matter.
I think I called Ken. Myself, I called Ken. No. He called me to find out the situation. Okay. And I discussed the situation with him. And I told him that at the time Ken called me, nobody had come.
Right.
But I got information that somebody was coming. So I told him that I am sure there is one surety already who has indicated that he will come, pursuant to a prompting.
Okay.
So I was very confident that that person had pre-qualified documents. Mm-hmm. So anybody who called me, I would say that I have one surety and waiting for the next one.
Okay. So that was when we learned that you had secured one.
One.
Okay.
And waiting.
Okay.
And indeed, that one is the one that came and gave me that document that upon verification realized that it wouldn't fit my purpose.
Okay.
Okay. So I went back to zero.
All right.
And so I was praying that who else can give me. And indeed, because of the condition of two sureties, it was not incumbent on one person to provide all.
Sure.
It was to find an aggregation of 50 through two persons. So I was waiting. So if this one had given me even 10 or 15 or anything, I will wait for somebody to come and compliment.
Okay. Now we want to understand what really happened on Friday. So Friday was the day, like we'll call the D-Day in this case. A lot of things happened on Friday. We saw the MPs march from Parliament to the EOCO head office. At that time, did you know the MPs were going to be at the EOCO head office?
No, I'm not a member of Parliament, so I wouldn't have been privy to the discussions in Parliament.
Nobody told you?
Oh, why would they tell me? I am not a member. It was an action of parliamentarians. And the discussions happened in the presence of Parliament. And honestly, on the day, I had not passed by anywhere close to Parliament.
But you are the sole representative of your client. And so any action that will be taken either for or against your client, you should be in the know.
I am responsible for his legal representation. not anything beyond that.
Okay.
So my focus is on representing him within the legal realm,
right,
to try and defend him as per my instructions. My client had not given me any further instructions beyond my legal representation.
Okay.
So I wouldn't either be privy or join or propose or participate in any other thing apart from.
Did it come to you as a surprise that the MPs left Parliament and walked to the EOCO head office?
My brother, Constitution guarantees freedom of demonstration, freedom of association, freedom of... You see, so all the freedoms are available to all of us. So at any point in time, when 2 or 3 people decide to act in unison, in protest or in support of a happening, they will be acting within their own rights. And whoever finds favor with what they're doing has the freedom to join.
So you were not surprised at all?
I wouldn't be surprised any day, any time for people who want to demonstrate in support or against.
But did you like the action they took?
Well, my feelings, I'm sure, are not necessary.
No, because this is important because they were doing this to get your client out. And you yourself, you're a lawyer. You're also fighting to get your client out. And so you should be concerned.
No.
Reason I'm asking.
No. If anybody who has any capacity to affect the fortunes of my client, I should be happy.
Right.
But whether or not,
you were happy then?
Whether or not that which they do has the potential to affect positively my client's pursuit of justice, why not? But it is not for me to evaluate and judge whether or not this kind of action has any impact and the value of the impact.
From where you sit as the legal counsel,
my job.
You say the action of the MPs had some level of impact.
Well, for nothing at all. It was to demonstrate a commitment, a certain level of commitment to his cause. So ordinarily, my client, if he even realized that some people were demonstrating in his support, he should be happy. So for nothing at all, it will boost his morale. Again, there were so many people who may not have heard what was happening. So if this is a form of advertisement of what has happened within the legal realm, why not?
Okay.
Communication is good.
All right.
For people who didn't understand, probably somebody picked something out of it. Probably somebody joined because it's getting to him for the first time. And so if support base is increasing, why should people not be happy?
Right.
I'm including my client.
Okay. By yourself,
myself,
you are not happy.
I wouldn't say I'm not happy. They have exercised their constitutional right. And if I say my client will have been encouraged by what he heard or saw, and his mood even changed for the better.
His mood did change?
Of course. Even when people are playing football and you go to the stadium and you start shouting, hey, people on the field,
so he saw that the MPs had come to the EOCO office.
He knew.
And you were with him.
He knew there was all over the place news. Okay. And I knew I had watched them on TV and I had told him.
Okay. So when you told him, how did he feel? You say he felt happy.
Well, my brother, put yourself in his shoes.
Right.
You are in custody and you hear that there are people who are demonstrating in support. How would you feel?
Okay.
At least you know that there's somebody out there.
I think that point has been made. So now on that Friday, when the MPs got to the EOCO office, where were you? At this time, you were still looking for people to come in.
Friday morning, I was very busy. Because because it was then that I knew that I had to engage better gears.
Change your gears.
Change of gears to make sure that I deliver.
Right.
So Friday I was moving. You understand? And Thursday morning, I had a Supreme Court case. I had to go to Supreme Court to do the case in course of the day, Thursday.
Okay.
From Supreme Court, I started looking for people who were coming. So Friday there, it was the day for me to close it or file an application. And indeed, I had an application ready. Because when I told myself that by 3 o'clock, if I didn't receive anything by way of
the
sureties and justification, I was going to file the motion to seek reduction of the bail terms.
Why didn't you do that from onset?
I was sure that I was going to get.
But you were getting people who brought documents that couldn't hold.
No, one person.
Just one person.
And Honorable Ken brought, which were,
so two.
Where the documents were incompetent.
Okay.
The one that Ken brought, this one was not qualified. But this one that Ken brought was incompetent.
Okay.
I used my words carefully.
All right.
Because this other one had been registered, but unqualified looking at the figure. And this one was incompetent.
Okay.
Because
any special reason why you didn't go to court from onset, from Tuesday?
No. When you have assurances of people bringing you the justification, indeed, it will be a better and shorter way to go by using the justification if you're confident that you're getting.
Okay.
Going to court was going to seek reduction. Reduction wouldn't mean a waiver necessarily. It could be, but my experience tells me that you will never get a total waiver.
Okay, and that could take some time.
And that could take some time.
So you were trying to prevent the time.
Yes. Again, when you file a motion like that, and it must be an originating motion. You file a motion like that, the day of filing is excluded from the 3 days counting. And the day of motion is also excluded. So the moment you go that way, you give yourself 5 days, the least.
But you wanted to get your client out before 5 days. So
and I had assurances of delivering.
You chose the assurances.
I chose. But when it got to Friday,
it wasn't looking likely.
Then I decided to look at alternatives.
Okay.
That is when I drafted it. It's here, I can show you. You see, and if you care, you see, Bernard,
yeah, I've seen that.
You can read it to the audience.
I've really seen that.
I want you to read it to see the kind of application.
House number NA244, Asafo Kumasi versus the Executive Director, Economic and Organized Crime Head Office, in a matter of an application for a writ of habeas corpus.
Good.
And in the matter of an application pursuant to Article 14, and it goes on notice of application for an order for enforcement of fundamental human rights pursuant to Article 14 and 33 of the 1992 Constitution under 56 of C147, and it goes on. Please take notice.
No. Okay.
Please take notice that this honorable court shall be moved by Andy Appiah Kubi, Esquire, counsel for and on behalf of the applicant herein, praying for an order for the enforcement of the applicant's fundamental human rights for the protection of his rights. And it goes on. So you were preparing to file on.
This was even amended to include a prayer for reduction of, and this one, I'll show you the official copy, because we made sure that we put it through the system halfway, awaiting the last opportunity that I had been promised.
Okay.
So the next time I see you, I'll give you a stamped copy of that total application.
Okay.